Good evening. Welcome to Hawthorne.
The Menu is a unique, vibrant, satirical horror film about a renowned chef's quest for revenge through his art. This film was meticulous in the way that it was designed, from the creation of the dishes served down to the color grading in each scene of the movie. In this video, I'll discuss some of the things that stood out the most in the set design of The Menu, and how they impacted the story told in the film.
Are you crying?
It's just I find it all very moving.
So it's okay that I'm not as into this as you are. Oh my god.
The Menu utilizes color grading and color palettes strategically from start to finish. The beginning of the film is much lighter, much more comedic, and seems like a normal run-of-the-mill movie about a high-end dining experience. The sky is light and cloudless, and the island around them is filled with bright greens and vibrant reds, all reflecting the peaceful, laid-back feeling that one would expect comes with the idea of a full-service dining experience on a private island. However, as the film becomes more sinister and off-putting, and the sun begins to set, the film quickly is overtaken by the deep, dark navy blues of the restaurant, the pitch black of the night behind them, and even the darkness of the patrons surrounding Margot. In fact, Margot is the only character wearing an outfit based in pastel colors. While the rest of the patrons wear black, gray, and brown formal attire, Margot shows up in a pastel lavender slip. By the end of the movie, her dress is the only pastel color that survives the coloring of the film, much like her character is the only one that survives the dining experience. The Menu also uses food as a storytelling device throughout the film, much like color. The dishes served at Hawthorne begin smaller than your fist, much like anyone would expect from a fine dining experience. However, by the fourth course, when the patrons finally realize just how much danger they're in, the courses start becoming larger and larger, eventually engulfing the entire restaurant with their grandeur in the final dessert. This might be a visual representation of the characters as they realize the stakes more and more clearly throughout the film. Once the dishes start making their way off the plate, such as in the fourth dish, when Chef forces one of his cooks to commit suicide in front of the guests, the tone of the film shifts and the characters become exponentially less willing to participate. Eventually, the final dessert encapsulates the entire restaurant and even the entire island, fitting for the level of pressure put on the characters. The larger the dish, the more they realize what they have to lose. Creating the final dish was a challenge for production designer Ethan Taubman. The final dish had to last for over 4 days of shooting, so Taubman had to come up with a creative solution to keep the dessert from expiring on set. Taubman eventually created resin replicas of each element of the dish using a GoPro to record the specific scale, shape, and placement of the dish. After the dish plating was initially filmed, he swapped the real food with the fake replicas so that filming could resume without any worry of the set around them expiring or moving around. Finally, the sets that were created for the film were created with every detail in mind. Each exterior was built to look clean, perfect, and well-groomed, reflecting heavily onto Chef's perfectionist tendencies. More specifically, the restaurant itself was designed with unease in mind. The restaurant is split into 2 sections, the kitchen and the dining area. While the dining area is spread out, minimal, and complete with floor-to-ceiling windows and a sunset ocean view, the cramped kitchen starkly contrasts it. This was done purposefully. As director Mark Mylod explains, quote, "We can feel the military presence or military threat of our cooks going about that relentless metronome of their preparation in the kitchen. One swings 180 degrees from that and gets that beautiful asymmetric glass window looking over the ocean that represents freedom, nature, and all things that have been left behind by both our cooks and our diners. And as the light recedes on that and the sun goes down, we see that dream dissipating before our eyes." End quote. This intentional design was meant to highlight the patron's hope as it rapidly disintegrates, much like the light as they watch the sunset. Suddenly, they are left with nothing but the chef, enclosed by darkness of the night surrounding them. In conclusion, The Menu uses many intentional production design choices that help create unease and make the audience feel just as scared as the characters. Coloring, costuming, prop design, and set design all work together to create a seamless, immersive story without spilling each and every detail out to the viewers, which is part of what makes The Menu such a well-made film.